Welcome into Viking Central. A video that I probably didn't want to do this afternoon, but I mean, it's got to be talked about a little bit, unfortunately. And that's just the continuing concern of the Vikings wide receiver depth. Um, Obviously, Justin Jefferson still nursing that hammy a little bit, coming back, limited in practice, trying to get back to full participation, and he's going to get there eventually. Jalen Naylor's still kind of up in the air. That hand injury, what really happened there, don't know. Could surgery still be on the table? According to Kevin O'Connell, maybe. Haven't really heard much more on that. Kind of being vague on that aspect of things. But now it sounded like the Vikings had a very physical practice, according to ESPN's Kevin Seifert. And Jordan Addison and Ty Felton both left practice kind of banged up, holding their hand, wrist area. Quit jamming our wide receivers' hands, whatever's going on here, because Jalen Naylor has the same issue. Now, we don't know the severity of it, but it sounded like they pretty much went off, watched from the sideline. I'll pull up a tweet here from Alex Lewis as well, if I can get there. So Alec Lewis from The Athletic, Vikings practice scrimmage ended. Ty Felton looked like he dinged his arm, didn't return, but stood on the sidelines. Jordan Addison jammed something and finished practice on the sidelines. Jeff Okudah walked in after trainers were looking at his right foot, and they didn't see Harrison Phillips. So we're kind of getting to that portion right now. I mean, we've been decently lucky when it comes to injuries. Not so much in the wide receiver room. I mean, the wide receiver room has been okay. I just feel like the suspension from Jordan Addison's kind of layering things a little bit in that aspect. So, but yeah, the talk that kind of started this morning with Tom Pelissero reporting that the Vikings have been in active dialogue. They're really searching for a trade partner for a wide receiver. My guess is this only picks up after today's practice. And I kind of jokingly tweeted just a few minutes ago, like, yeah, they're going to sign someone by the end of the night, and hey, it's a possibility. But I mean, something's got to happen. You can't roll out with Justin Jefferson, Lucky Jackson, Thayer Thomas, Jayshon Jones. I don't think that can be your wide receiver group. I mean, love those guys, love the potential of those guys, but at the same time, we need some experience. First year starter at quarterback and JJ McCarthy. Yeah, if everyone is healthy, Jordan Addison wasn't suspended, this wouldn't even be a conversation. You're comfortable with Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, and then a guy like Ty Felton being your fourth guy, maybe, or a Lucky Jackson being your fourth guy. I could even see them bringing in another depth piece, even if everyone was healthy. But this is just not what we need right now, because that position is just getting thinner and thinner at the moment. Now, it looks like they just were on the sideline, so maybe that is a more precautionary thing. Like, okay, you even got nicked up a little bit. You're going to stand by me. We don't need any more injuries in that wide receiver room. So I feel like, man, I don't know. They need to do something, and it's most likely going to be a trade. They might pick up someone after cuts here. I believe on Tuesday, the 26th is cut day, and we're going to see a lot of movement. But I could honestly see them going out and trading for someone. Is that Adam Thielen? Maybe it is. Is that a guy like who else is kind of in the hot names? Is that Alec Pierce from the Colts? Just a couple other options that are out there. I know Terry McLaurin's been another hot topic. I don't really see that happening because he's going to want the moolah, and the Vikings probably don't want to put that much money towards a position. I've been saying, like, get on the Jordan Whittington train. I've heard some steam there. Rams, second-year wide receiver. Another guy that I really like is Rashid Shaheed, and I don't know how likely that is. At the same time, he's going to want to get paid next year, and the Saints just do not have the cap space to pay him relative to what he's worth. So there's some names out there that kind of really intrigue me. I know Alan Lazard's names come up. Mitchell Tinsley from the Bengals also come up, which I think is really interesting. It's been showing out in the preseason, which I think could be a really, fun target to kind of for sure look at. So there's definitely options out there for the wide receiver room, but we just can't really sustain any more injuries here, guys. It's just getting to be too much. We gotta we gotta help with JJ McCarthy. If you guys are watching here, is there anyone that you particularly want to go for in like a trade or maybe that in a free agency pool? I know Adam Thielen's the hot name, Terry McLaurin, some of the bigger names there. But could it just be a guy like KJ Osborne if he gets released from the Commanders? Could they bring back a Brandon Powell? Small little signings in that nature, or maybe it is an Amari Cooper or a Tyler Boyd. I know Gabe Davis has been kind of hopping around visiting teams, but there's options out there. It's just someone's got to make a move. Nick says, I'm sure Addison will be fine. To be honest, not really worried about long term, but to be honest, I'm more the cool with Cooper. Okay. Sounds like Nick wants to go after Amari Cooper. And I think he's still got some left in the tank, so I think that's a good point. Addison will be fine. I mean, even if he did jam up his hand a little bit, he misses the first 3 weeks of the season anyway. So he's got plenty of time to get healthy, unfortunately. But fortunately, but unfortunately, he's going to have plenty of time to rest up and heal, but he'd probably be practicing again tomorrow. But just these little dings here and there from these wide receivers that, need to stay healthy. That room, the depth there is not good. We want to see Justin Jefferson get back on the field, of course, continue to develop that chemistry with JJ McCarthy, and just, knock off any of that preseason rust. It's not like he's ever played in the preseason anyway, but just getting in those practice reps, especially with the new quarterback. I mean, Kirk was his quarterback for the first handful of years, and then kind of been bouncing around a little bit the last 2 years, and hopefully JJ will be his quarterback for the rest of his career, which would be really nice. Cooper, Addison, Jefferson long-term would be fire, one of the best 3 wide receiver options in the league. Yeah, for Amari Cooper, I definitely think he's got this year left in his tank. Even next year, maybe. Long-term, I think you should go after like a young guy long-term. I know Addison's going to want a big payday, and that's why I think that Mitchell Tinsley is kind of an interesting target from the Bengals. Again, showing out in the preseason, I think he's got a lot of potential. Think he's 24 years old or so. So a guy that has a lot of potential, and I think could just be another young guy who's on a cheap deal here for the next couple of years. Because again, Addison's going to want to get paid. What do they do with him next year? Are they gonna give him, the bag, so to speak? So that's another thing just to continue to keep in our thoughts. Like they could, maybe this is fast forwarding what they were going to maybe do next year, bring in another guy to kind of go alongside Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, because if they're not going to plan on paying Jordan Addison after next year, they need to start thinking about who their wide receiver 2 and 3 is going to be leading into the future. But again, a physical practice here today, and that's good. We want to be a physical team. It is good, but at the same time, our wide receivers just stay out of trouble. Don't be putting your hands where they're not supposed to be. Again, this is Jalen Naylor with a hand injury. Jordan Addison jammed something, and it sounded like it was like a thumb or something like that. Ty Felton dinged his arm, which sounds like is more of like a wrist area. So, hey, you need your hands when you're a wide receiver. Just keep them where they should be. So, again, there's options out there. And I know, again, Adam Thielen is the guy that probably people are really expecting and kind of want. But is it the most realistic? I don't know if it is. And Nick again says Tinsley has been balling out in preseason for sure. No catches in the regular season, though. Exactly. He does not have any catches in the regular season. I believe he's a rookie last year in 2024. Now kind of maybe coming into his own a little bit. And that's kind of that potential low-risk, high-reward play that the Vikings and Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah could really kind of go in that direction. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Yeah, he only appeared in 2 games last year, so yeah, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to catch any passes, but I think that could be a pairing where JJ McCarthy kind of growing with another young guy and like a Mitchell Tinsley, kind of that we're seeing with Ty Felton is really raw. I think Tinsley's more of a guy that's kind of ready to play, which is really interesting in the fact that yeah, he could be a guy that the Vikings look at. Again, I keep coming back to like a Jordan Whittington, another second-year player, Rashid Shaheed. I know that's a name that a lot of people expect, but I would not be surprised if the Saints move him. I mean, they're kind of in a tanking year anyway. Probably going to be tanking a little bit next year. Who knows when Arch Manning's going to come out? Arch Manning in New Orleans. Isn't that where his grandpa played? I mean, yeah, connect the dots. So I think it'd be really interesting to see what the Saints do. So is there any names that I'm missing that you guys could think that would kind of be a really good fit here? Do they maybe focus on the free agency pool, or do they go trade for a guy? What do you guys think of Terry McLaurin? Is that even a no talker just right off the bat? Just because he does want a lot of money, is that kind of just off the table in your guys' opinion? In my opinion, it is, unless they move Jordan Addison or something like that, which I don't see happening, because we've seen the chemistry with McCarthy and Addison all preseason long, all training camp. There's definitely a chemistry there, and I don't think they really want to do anything with that. TJ Hawkinson's going to be more involved. Aaron Jones is going to be more involved out of the backfield. Probably a lot of 11 and 12 personnel early on in the season, get the run game going. Involve Josh Oliver, and again, involve TJ Hawkinson. Conrad says, wouldn't McLaurin cost way too much? Yeah, he would. I think it's off the table. You'd probably have to give up quite a bit of draft capital for sure. And I think he's like 30 now already. So he's still in his prime, but kind of more on the back end of his prime. I think he'd fit great in Minnesota, but at the same time, yeah, you'd have to probably give up a player, give up a lot of draft capital, and we've kind of seen where we are with the draft. We haven't had a lot of draft picks to play with, and I think Kwesi kind of wants to hold on to those, unless it is like a mid-round pick to get one of these guys. The Saints are going to be horrid. They do have a relative on the roster with Garrett Nussmeier, though. True. Oh, there you go. So yeah, they might be the worst team in the league. I mean, the quarterback situation is not doing them any favors. Hey, maybe they trade for Kirk Cousins. Who knows? But I think they're in tank mode. I think they're fine being a 3-4 win team. I don't think they have any issues kind of just letting the dominoes fall where they fall this year, and that's probably bottom of the division and bottom of the conference, and maybe aiming for that first overall pick in April. McLaurin is a weird wide receiver that doesn't really have a single elite trait to his game, just solid all around. Yeah, I was kind of trying to think of like a really good like comp for him, because that's kind of he's really savvy. I mean, he's not the quickest, doesn't have a lot of top end speed, has really good hands. He's really reliable. And again, I'm trying to think of like a comparable for him, like another wide receiver that's kind of been in the league. Maybe like I don't even know if I want to compare him to him, because he was really good and really tough with the Cardinals, like an Anquan Bolden almost. I don't know if their play styles are similar, but a guy that, that is super solid and is going to be there, to make plays every single Sunday. And hey, that's probably what the Vikings are looking for, but probably not at $37-38 million a year. Like the way the market is right now, he'd almost probably be getting paid more than Justin Jefferson. I don't know if that would even sit well with Jets. So yeah, it's really cool. Tyler Lockett is a solid comp. Yeah, I can definitely see Lockett a little bit. Lockett's a little bit on the smaller end, more of a slot wide receiver, where McLaurin can play inside out, and I can definitely see that as a comp. Just guys that do all the little things really well. Conrad says, do you know if any of the injuries that Alec Lewis reported are serious? Clearly, we don't need more receivers injured. Yeah, I mentioned this right away. Like, they're probably minor. We don't know the severity of them yet, which is interesting. I mean, maybe we don't even hear anything because they are so minor. But it sounds like Jordan Addison just jammed something up. Like if it was a thumb or a finger, Ty Felton dinged up his arm. But they both stayed on the sideline, just watched practice. I think it was more precautionary from the coaching staff, because they know that the wide receiver depth is really thin right now. So they just kind of want to, be careful when it comes to that. Just, again, like you said, we don't need any more injuries for sure. No, you're good, Conrad. Conrad, I appreciate you hopping in. So, yeah. So I just want to talk a little bit about kind of where we stand when it comes to wide receiver. And I would not be surprised for sure within the next couple of days we see a new wide receiver on the team now. Now, is that a trade? Is that a free agency signing? Is that picking up a guy again after cuts on Tuesday? It's going to be interesting to see where exactly they land and how like good the player is. Like they could go get a young guy that has a lot of potential and has been a really proven receiver already in this league, or you can just get a young guy that hasn't really got an opportunity like Mitchell Tinsley, or maybe they just go the veteran route, which it sounds like Tom said they're kind of in the market for a veteran wide receiver. So I think a guy that can just help out JJ McCarthy and just fit in really well with the offensive system. So appreciate you guys tuning in. That's all I have for you. Just want to talk some wide receiver a little bit and where that group is. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell for notifications. We go live a bunch, throwing out videos for you guys as well. Also follow us or subscribe to us on our Substack. You can see it scrolling across the bottom, substack.com/Viking Central. Follow us on Facebook, X, and TikTok, and support our sponsors. That's Badass Wood Art. Use code VC15 for 15% off your order. That's badasswoodart.com. Or go to the homage link up top as well, 20 to 30% off homage clothing. And yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. DJ Chark did get released here last week, and he could be an option, a veteran guy, but he's bounced around a little bit. If he's healthy and kind of plays up to his potential, I think that could be a guy that could fit in. I think there was some interest a couple years ago for DJ Chark, but again, just it's going to be interesting to see kind of where the Vikings land on a wide receiver. Viking Central, God bless. We'll see you guys in the next video.